Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today, and this is our Project Share Project blog hop for July, first Saturday of the month, and the theme we've got today is birthday, so anything goes, but I'm sticking with a nice feminine floral card using the art gallery stamp set and the coordinating dies there, and the focus this time is going to be on one of these sort of other images rather than the main large image there, and we're going to be using the dies to get that cut out, and got this lovely sort of stamp edge to the sentiment dies, which is really, really cute. And we've got a bit of embossing in the background too, just to add some extra interest and layer into it. So lots to do, lots to get on with. So as you know, I tend to do a different colourway with you guys when I'm on camera. So this was Mango Melody with some Mossy Meadow details on here, and I am going to switch this up for Highland Heather, okay, and we're going to use Pear Pizzazz as the green, okay. I think that's a really nice combo. So I've cut a whole load of layers ready to go, and there's a little strip there for the sentiment. So standard card base then, and I've got a layer which is the full sort of card layer, which will be 4 by 4 3/4, and then all these other layers are 1/8 of an inch smaller, just so that we get this nice incremental border across the card, okay. Alright, so that's all fairly straightforward cutting. Just take off 1/8 of an inch on each of the layer on the side and the top, and then you'll get these nice borders. This one is going to go straight on flat, so we'll get that layered up right now so that that is done. And then we'll do the stuff we want to do to the other layers, okay. So just some stamp and seal there, just to get this stuck together and onto the card nice and quick. There we are. And that's done. We can leave that to one side now until we're ready to put the final bits on. So that's off to one side there. Okie dokie then, and we'll leave the layer. This bit then, we want to do our embossing. So the embossing folders, so there's a pack of 2 that are new in the annual catalogue that was released in May. So we've got the spots and checks. So the spots was what I used on the sample card there. Nice you know, generic sort of pattern. So just so that we spin it up a little bit, let's use the checks this time. And rather than going you know, sort of traditionally putting your card in this way, I'm actually using the folder to put this impression across the middle. Alright, so I'm going to just line that up so that I've got the squares kind of even on the edges, so I don't get any weird little so it looks straight basically. Alright, so that's how we're going to go. It's roughly central, not that it's going to show that much. So on the cut and emboss, I'm going to put that down across the cutting plate like that. Take out my die adapter, and we'll just run that through the machine like that. So these little folders would fit in the mini machine. I'm not going to put it in sideways, I'm going to put it in that way and have the card sideways. That's what I'm going to do, because you're supposed to put it in hinge first. So why doesn't that feel right? It's because I'm not doing it that way. So hinge first with the cardstock sideways is what we're doing. So that would normally go through the mini machine, but obviously because we're doing the cardstock the other way around, it won't fit. So there we have an embossed portion across the card, which you can accentuate if you want to with some ink. I'm just replacing my my die cutting platform there. So I've just got one of the blending brushes that I've got here, and I haven't added any more ink to it. I'm just using some residual ink from this purple brush, and the raised sort of edges will sort of catch the ink more. So it's very, very subtle, but it's something that you can add if you want to, but it's entirely optional. Entirely up to you if you want to do that or not. And then what we're going to do is add some ribbon across there for some additional texture as well. Alright, so I'm just going to use my seal just to put some anchor points on the back of that. Okay, this is the white crinkled seam binding ribbon, and it's just a nice plain ribbon that we can use to add some additional soft texture to our card. Just winding that round a few times, and then we can secure that at the back. Could just use some tape or something if you wanted to, because it won't show. I'll just cut that off. I do like having a white ribbon available to use. Okay, so now we can put that onto its corresponding coloured layer and onto our card. Okay, so that's all we need to do with this bit. So this is our backdrop for our feature image. Oops. That's going to go onto our card base. So you've got those lovely stepped layers there. Now you could skip some of those and just go for a single layer. Just wanted to show you some different layering options, okay? Something funky with the ribbon, okay? Done and done. Right. We're going to need the sentiment, the happy birthday sentiment, and we're going to I'm going to pull in I'm actually going to pull in Gorgeous Grape for that. Just a slightly darker shade of the purple that we're going to use. I just think it'd be a nice little contrast, and we are going to be using the grape in the flower as well. So that's ready to die cut. Okay, and then our flower image we're going to use our Stamparatus for. Okay, so if I just move those ink pads out of the way just for a moment. So I've got my Stamparatus tool here. I've already positioned some cardstock into that corner, ready to go with a magnet. Now this image, it's one that has sort of stem portions and floral all in the same stamp. And personally, I like to have my stems green and then the flowers a different colour. So this is one way that you can actually get two-tone stamping if you have the similar desire to have the two-tone look. Okay, Now I'm going to use sponge daubers to apply ink, but the other way you could do it is using the Stampin' Up markers. Okay, so you can apply the ink like so over the portions that you want. Okay, and then stamp it down, which is cool. I do find though that you have to stamp it a couple of times to get a really nice image. It kind of depends on how detailed your stamp is, really, as to just want to put some. I'm just going to put some cardstock under there so I can see my image a little bit better. I'm sure you can see it a little bit better now. So if you're looking for that detail, then the markers are a really good way to go. If you're looking for something a little sketchier, then these daubers work really well. So the colours aren't gonna, it's not going to be sharp lines on this, it's just, but we're going for this sort of artistic sort of look on it. Okay, so that's Pear Pizzazz. Okay, and we can bring that across and stamp that layer down. And that magnet's in place. Photopolymer stamps will pick up the card more readily than other things. Highland Heather is going to be our main bloom image. So again, I'm just going to take up the ink with the dauber. This is going to be really subtle. But you can see on the image I've stamped, you know, I've caught part of the flower, but flowers aren't uniform in colour, so I think this is going to look really cool. And you can always go over it again if you feel like you want more ink on the stamp, on your image. So we'll bring this one across. And stamp that. So I'm always going to keep that cardstock in that corner. So even if it shifts on me, I'm going to know that it's in the right position. And then I'm going to add a bit of grape in there. And we're going to get this lovely gradient flower look. So it's a bit more sort of random. Never quite sure what you're going to get with this one. Or you can just go for stamping it in one solid colour. Absolutely your choice as to how you want to use this. Okay, so there we have a really nice, pretty, sort of washy kind of image on that. Okay, alright, so now we can die cut that and it's going to look even better then. Alright, so it is a different effect than what you would get if you just inked it up with your ink pad. Put that where it's not going to go crashing down. There we go, let's put it over there. Oops. And we'll bring in our dies. So we'll have this one. Cut out. Just take your time to line that up. And then we'll do the same with our sentiment on this lovely, lovely little stamp edged. Do they call it, is it Pico? Is that what it's called? Pico edge. am I making that up? Don't know. Run that through my cutting bus. Yeah, there's a beautiful sentiment, and there's our floral. Want some dimensionals on the back of this, so getting low on dimensionals in terms of this particular sheet, but if you cut around the edges you get these lovely little pieces that you can use, and actually they're perfect for these flowers because they're kind of in that shape. And I'm going to use a bit of the edge strip on the sentiment strip as well, even better. It's the perfect way to use up those little edges. So they're ready. Here's our base card. Take off our backings on our dimensionals, and that's pretty much it. That's all we've got to do now. That's all we've got to do. So I'm just going to lay that across there, and that stem is going to be held in place behind that sentiment. So there we are. I'm not going to add any more bling to it or anything. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay, so using Stamparatus for two-tone stamping with sponge daubers, bit of embossing in the background, just to give it some more interest and lots of layering, and you've got really, really pretty cards. Really like how those two have turned out. I love both colours. I know that some of you watching will have a preference, but let me know what you think. Thanks ever so much for joining me again today. Take care. Bye.